beautiful bill, which is worth trillions and trillions of dollars, is coming to the final vote. Here is what is going to be in this bill, or what we know so far. We're going to go over it here right now as we're live on the YouTube It's Jimmy Show. Let me know if you can see and hear me. Type yes in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. You can let me know your city, state, or even your country, as we have people tuning in here from all around the globe. Don't forget to hit that like button for me here. And if you haven't yet, subscribe down below so you don't miss out on future updates, and click the bell icon so you do get notifications when we go live, and help me reach 500,000 subscribers. I'll be keeping you up to date here with everything going on here in our country and around the world that you need to know about. All right, and don't forget to share this video with anybody that needs to hear this information. Take a look here. Okay, Medicaid, SNAP, and tax cuts in Trump's big, beautiful bill. What's in the Trump bill that lawmakers aim to pass this week? They're trying to pass this by Memorial Day. That's right. So here is some of the details. Yeah, the House is about to pass a massive package with big changes to Medicaid, SNAP, food benefits, and income taxes in line with President Donald Trump's agenda. Yeah, so this is worth trillions and trillions of dollars. Some of this with tax cuts, some of this with actual reductions from places like Medicaid and actual SNAP, and some of this with actual tax bracket cuts. So for the most parts, every single tax bracket is being reduced again, going back from the 2017 Trump tax cut bill that was actually going to expire this year. So if this bill wasn't passed, then pretty much every single tax bracket would go up, which would mean that every single American would be paying more taxes in their tax brackets. And if you guys have been watching me for any amount of time, years, months, days, you know that I'm pretty much not on either side, and I just tell the details how they are. If you've been watching me for any amount of time, you'll see in the comment section, Jimmy's a Republican, Jimmy's a Democrat, Jimmy's a liberal, Jimmy's a Republican. The reality of it is that I'm not on either side. I just say the details how they come, and the reality is I'm a realist. I just say the details how they are, and this is why some people just call me whatever, because I'm just saying the details, and sometimes it's just whatever. You could think whatever you want. I'm just saying the details how they come. And in this particular case, or in this particular detail of the bill, it lowers the tax brackets for Trump's bill. That particular case, it's a good thing. It lowers tax brackets for all Americans. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because lower taxes is a good thing. Now, there's some things in this bill that some people aren't going to like, and some people are going to like. Okay, so there's some things in this bill that some people are going to be like, I hate that. And there's some things in this bill that some people are going to actually be for. So I'm going to go over these details here with you right now. And some people are for it and some people are against it. You could literally ask 100 people about some of the things in this bill, and some people are going to hate them and some people are going to love them. Like some of these cuts, they're reducing funding for certain things like Medicaid, and you could ask some people and they'd be like, oh, that's really bad because I'm on Medicaid. And then you could ask some other people and they'd be like, I don't, some people would say, I'm not saying this, but this is what some people would say, that they shouldn't be given handouts like that. So take a listen and you'll read it here in black and white. And this is what they're going to pass for. So take a look. Okay, the GOP priorities spanning from energy and border security to taxes and new restrictions on popular benefit programs that could see more than 7 million people denied federal health care coverage, mostly talking about Medicare here. They're pushing for the vote by May 22nd to pass in the House, while blue state Republicans are pushing for a state and local tax deduction known as SALT tax deduction that may be key to their political survival. Okay. The slim Republican majority on taxes and spending bill. The margins are slim because not a single Democrat is expected to vote for this, mostly just because of Democratic priorities, even if they were for some of the things in the bill. This is the sad part of our political system. We've seen the same thing here when the Democrats went to pass their reconciliation bill, when the $1,400 stimulus checks were passed by the Democrats, and Biden, when they first came into office, when the Democrats had control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency with the Inflation Reduction Act, no Republicans voted for that bill. And we'll likely see the same thing here with this Republican bill, because the Republicans are going to pass this in the House, the Senate, and the presidency without a single Democratic vote. And we'll probably see not a single Democrat vote for this. And it's not that maybe the Democrats are for some things like lowering all the tax brackets, but they're probably against a lot of the other things. So, and thus, we'll not see a single Democrat vote for this. And we've seen the same thing when Biden and the Democrats passed their $1,400 stimulus check and the Inflation Reduction Act. This is the sad part about the two-party system, is that when one party passes a bill, the other party doesn't vote for it at all. So it's not that they might be for some things, like lowering all the tax brackets. It's just that they're not for some of the other things, like, cutting funding from Medicaid and SNAP and some of the other things, right? So once this bill gets passed in the House, it will then have to go through committees and then get passed in the Senate. Here is what this bill has, okay? Amped up border security. This bill includes more than $140 billion in spending for the Trump's plan to crack down on illegal immigration. $50 billion for completing the wall on the southern border. $45 billion for detention centers. $8 billion to hire more immigration officers, and $14 billion for deportations. Boosted defense spending. The bill includes around $150 billion for defense spending. $150 billion more for defense spending, which could actually increase as it goes to the Senate. Because remember, this bill could change when it goes to the Senate, which will mean if the Senate passes a bill, then they'll just send it back to the House and likely pass it as is. Okay, so this bill could change again, okay, which does happen. The current proposal, so which would mean that defense spending would go to over $1 trillion per year. So just think of that. The current proposal includes a $20 billion that would go to creating a Golden Dome missile defense system that Trump has promoted. I wonder where that would go, because we'll go on the East Coast, we'll go on the West Coast, we'll go down by the southern border. So think about that. A Golden Dome can only defend one part of the country, right? It only have a certain range. So think about that. Changes could push 7.6 million people off Medicaid, the program that provides health insurance to more than 71 million low-income Americans. Would undergo big changes if the bill remains as is, and is currently, how they're doing it, which is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages, by the way. And all the committees are still putting their portion of the bill together, right? Okay. So House Republicans have proposed changes that would save at least $625 billion in cuts from Medicaid and cause 7.6 million Americans to lose their Medicaid health insurance over the next 10 years. Okay, so this kind of takes effect over time, according to initial estimates from the Congressional Budget Office. So there's a lot of people that have been watching my show here over the last several weeks and said, that's not true, that's not going to happen, Republicans aren't going to do that, Trump said that this wouldn't happen. This is starting to take form, okay? So, and again, I'm not choosing sides here. I'm not left, right, or center. I'm just reporting to you guys the news and what is taking shape and taking effect here, okay? So you guys can do with it what you will. I don't know if you're on Medicaid, who I'm talking to. I'm talking to thousands of people, right? You might be for this change, you might be against this change. And the reason for this is, how they're doing this is the bill will implement work requirements for adults enrolled in Medicaid expansion and increase the frequency of eligibility checks to ensure people will still qualify for the program. So the way they do this is they do this through, you'll hear Republicans say this, we don't want to make cuts. It's kind of strange the way they say this. They should just be honest and come out and say this. But they say, we're not touching Medicaid. Even, I don't know. You guys can be a judge of this, but they say we just want to cut fraud, waste, and abuse. But yet then they're making cuts to Medicaid, right? So they should just be honest and say, yeah, we're cutting fraud, waste, and abuse, which means they're cutting some funding from Medicaid. Take that with what you will. We'll see when it all gets said and done and finally cut and everything is done. And I'll keep you up to date on this and everything else going on a daily basis. Here's what's next. Okay, briefly, I mentioned this here on the last video, but the United States has filed a false claim act on complaints against 3 national health insurance companies and 3 brokers alleging against unlawful kickbacks and discrimination against disabled Americans. So if you or any loved ones are on Medicare, Medicare Advantage, or any Medicare services, this is why I recommend Chapter Medicare. Chapter Medicare was actually founded because their parents got scammed and they're trying to change the system. And they actually have a proprietary system where they can scan through every Medicare, Medicare Advantage, Medicare provider in the entire country to find you or your loved ones the best plan for you, or can save you tons of money. And on average, they actually save people that use their services, which is completely free, about $1,100 on average, with these benefits, or actually put money back in your Social Security check. So I have a phone number here on the screen or a pinned comment link down below where you can contact them, and their services are completely free, which is really amazing because this putting money back in your Social Security check is very, very beneficial for a lot of people right now, because we know times are tough for a lot of people. So feel free to click that link down below in the comment section, or call that phone number for Chapter Medicare. Their services are completely free. Also, SNAP, food assistance, SNAP work requirements. The proposal would now implement new requirements in SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, known as SNAP, which provide food assistance for around 42 million Americans. This will save, or cut, $300 billion over the next 10 years and ship more of the cost of the program to the states. Okay, so again, cutting $300 billion over 10 years. The Republican plan will implement new work requirements for people ages 55 to 64, requiring states to provide more funding for the program for the first time, limit SNAP eligibility to citizens and lawful permanent residents, and prevent future presidential administrations from increasing benefits without congressional approval, because former President Joe Biden was able to do this himself previously, just through executive order. So the Republicans are going to prevent that now for future presidents. So a future Democratic president potentially wouldn't be able to do that. So Republicans can limit spending. If you've been watching and listening, Republicans want to limit spending. But they also have $2 trillion in tax breaks. So on one hand, they have one thing, and on one hand, they have the other thing. Republicans want to make permanent the 2017 Trump tax cuts, known as the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, a bill passed during Trump's first term that lowered taxes for all income brackets. As I said, this says, but disproportionately benefits high-income earners. I think it says that only because high-income earners earn the most, so proportionally that would mean that they get more of a benefit just because they earn the most. But percentage-wise, the percentages were all kind of the same, So, I mean, if you understand math, that's just how math is, right? The cuts implemented in 2017 expire at the end of this year, and if they are not extended, income tax rates will go up for all but 2 income brackets next year. So, there you have it. This is the most expensive provision in the bill, and it's expected to cost over $2 trillion over the next 10 years alone, and I don't think anybody wants to see more taxes. So, I mean, this is a good thing. Also, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and being able to deduct car loan interest. I'll get to the Social Security thing here in a second. 2 of Trump's major campaign promises, no tax on tips or overtime wages, are included in the bill. Yes, this would make tax on tips exempt. Workers can claim the deduction through 2028. Also, the bill would allow people to temporarily deduct up to $10,000 in car loan interest payments if they buy an American-made vehicle. This will also raise the debt ceiling by, wait for it here, $4 trillion. $4 trillion. Now, if the Democrats were doing this, oh, how we would hear the screams and the cries. But alas, Republicans are raising the debt ceiling by $4 trillion. Expanding the child tax credit. I thought that they would expand the child tax credit. It's not as much as some people thought it would be, but the bill will increase the child tax credits to $2,500. Yes. We will have to see the details on this. Will it be $2,500 per child? I think that's how it will be. Extra money for seniors. People over the age of 65 could deduct an additional $4,000 boost for seniors from their taxes if they make less than $75,000 or $150,000 filing jointly. People who make more than that are eligible for smaller deductions as their income increases. The deduction will last all the way through 2028. So we'll go over more details to that as we get through that. Green energy rollbacks. The GOP proposed would end incentives to buy electric cars, which is ironic considering that they're buddy-buddy with Elon Musk, right? So they're going to get rid of the electric vehicle tax credit. I'm sure Elon Musk is not happy about that. And they also want to get rid of all sorts of other green energy things, right? MAGA savings account. Children under 8 years old will be given $1,000 each for their parents. Children under 8 years old will be given $1,000 each for their parents to open money accounts for growth and investments known as MAGA savings account. Parents, other relatives, and nonprofits could contribute $5,000 annually to the account tax-free until the child is 18, when a portion of the funds can be used for higher education training programs, buying a home, or starting a business until 30, when the funds would become unrestricted. I'll have to look into more details of this. More state and local tax deductions. So if you're already paying state and local taxes, you'll be able to deduct them, which is the way it should be, because if you're paying the taxes, you should be able to reduce them. If you go to private school and stuff, there'll be deductions for that stuff. Private school vouchers. The other thing too is we don't really know the details about the Doge dividend checks. The creator, James Fishback, says that he's confident, he thinks that they'll be in there, and we will have to see what will happen in there. The other thing too is they could enable President Donald Trump to simply be able to create an executive order to be able to issue them at any given time as the savings come through. Right now, there is over $1,000 saved from the Department of Government Efficiency per person, over $1,000 per person. So a married couple would be able to receive over a $2,100 check immediately if President Donald Trump issued these either through the bill passed or through executive order. So they would be able to issue that if passed through the bill or at any given time through executive order via President Donald Trump. So I will keep you up to date here on that as well as we learn more details. So make sure to subscribe down below and click the bell icon so you get notifications when we go live with more videos, and I keep you up to date here on daily news. It's completely free to subscribe. Also, make sure to share this video with anybody that needs to hear this information, and I will keep you up to date. Click here to see the warning President Donald Trump just gave to Walmart and other major retailers that you need to know about. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.